Methods of data collection. There are four basic methods, which can be used separately or in combination of collecting job analysis data observation, interviews, questionnaires, and job incumbent diary or logs. The four methods of any combination of them must focus on critical information since time and cost are considerations. Managers need to collect comparable valid data. A questionnaire called the Job Analysis Information Format or JAIF can provide the basic core information for use with any job analysis method. Differences among job incumbents should be considered during the analysis of JAIF information. In addition to the actual job analysis, the job analyst should not assume that all incumbents or their supervisors will view a job in the same way. Finally, the job analyst should not assume that all incumbents and supervisors have the same amount of knowledge about the job. Which method to use? Although any of these four basic methods can be used either alone or in combination, there is no general agreement about which methods of job analysis yield the best and most up to the information. Many experts agree that, at the very least, interviews should not be relied as the sole data collection method. The four basic methods: observation, interviews, questionnaires, and job incumbent diary or logs. Observation. Direct observation is used for jobs that require manual, standardized, and short job cycle activities. Observation is usually not appropriate where job involves significant mental activity such as the work of research scientist, a lawyer, or a mathematician. The observation technique requires that the job analyst be trained to observe relevant job behaviors. Interviews. Interviewing job incumbents is often done in combination with observation. Interviews are probably the technique used most widely in collecting data for job analysis. They permit the job analyst to talk face-to-face with job incumbents. Although interviews can yield useful job analysis information, and awareness of their potential limitation is also needed. There is also a real possibility that the information provided by the respondents will be unintentionally distorted by the interviewer. Finally, the cost of interviewing can be very high, especially if group interviews are not practical. Questionnaires is usually the least cost method for collecting information. It is an effective way to collect a large amount of information in a short period of time. The JAIF in Exhibit 6-2 is the structure questionnaire. There really is no best format of a questionnaire. However, here are the few hints that will make the questionnaire easier to use. Keep it short. People do not generally like to complete long, time-consuming forms. Explain what the questionnaire is being used for. People want to know why it must be completed. Keep it simple. Do not try to impress people with technical language. Use the simplest language to make a point or ask a question. Test the questionnaire before using it in order to improve the questionnaire. Ask some job incumbents to complete it and to comment on its feature. The test will permit the analyst to modify the format before using the questionnaire in final form. Job incumbent diary or log. The diary or log is a recording by job incumbents of job duties, frequency of the duties, and when the duties are accomplished. This technique requires the job incumbent to keep a diary or log. Unfortunately, most individuals are not disciplined enough to keep such a diary or log. Comparison on daily, weekly, or monthly basis can be made. This permits an examination of the routineness or non-routineness of the job duties.
Specific quantitative techniques. The four methods of data collections for job analysis just described were presented in error terms. They form the basis for constructions of specific techniques that have gained popularity across many types of organizations. When they are used properly, these specific techniques can provide systematic and quantitative procedures that yield information about what job duties are being accomplished and what knowledge, skills, ability, and other characteristics are needed to perform the job. Three of the more popular quantitative techniques are functional job analysis, the position analysis questionnaires, and the management position description questionnaires. Functional job analysis is the cumulative result of approximately 60 years of research on analyzing and describing jobs. It was originally conceived in the late 1940s and was developed as a mechanism for improving the classifications of jobs contained in the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, which was the primary source used by the U.S. Employment Service for descriptive information about jobs. Position analysis questionnaire are structured questionnaire for quantitatively assessing jobs was developed by the researchers at Purdue University. It is called the Position Analysis Questionnaire. The PAQ contains 195 items. 11 of these are shown in Exhibit 6 to 5. Because the questionnaire requires considerable experience and a high level of reading comprehension to complete properly. It is often filled out by a trained job analyst, and the job analyst must decide whether each items apply to a particular job. For example, these are the example. Information input. Sources of job information rate each of the following items in terms of the extent to which it is used by the worker as a source of information in performing his or her job. Extent of use does not apply. Informal or very infrequent. Occasional, moderate, considerable, and very substantial.
And specification. Job description. A job description is a written description of what the job entails. Written statement of what the worker actually does, how he does or she does it, and what the working conditions are. Job description clarifies work functions and reporting relationships, helping employees understand their jobs. Job description aid in maintaining a consistent salary structure. Next is performance evaluation may be based on job descriptions. So the job description helps target the right people for the job because it clarifies the responsibilities and should they hired or how the way they should be hired. So for any potential employees, job hunting is the description here is enough to let them know if they would be a good fit for the job and therefore decide if they want to pursue the position or not. So usually contains general information about the job itself, including the title, location, summary, duties, working condition, and who the person would report to. So this is simply measures the tasks and responsibilities that would come with this job. This type of information can be used when creating a pool candidates and then selecting people to interview, identifying and setting up training, and eventually evaluating the performance. Job specification. It is a statement of employees' characteristics and qualifications required for satisfactory performance of defined duties and tasks comprising a specific job or function. It addresses the question what personal traits and experience are needed to perform the job effectively. So job specification is obviously useful for prospective employees and it also helps the company. The ample information as to what the job entails gives recruiters a very good idea of what sort of person they should be looking for when conducting interviews. It can also later be used by management to figure out what sort of training will need to be given to the employee, as well as evaluating their performance further down the road. This is the list of educational qualifications: training, experience, skills, and competencies. Someone would need to do the job. So this outlines what the employee must be capable of doing in order to succeed in this specific job.
Job design is the process of establishing employees' roles and responsibilities. Dito, pinag-iisipan kung anong ibibigay na trabaho sa isang employee na babagay sa kanyang skills. And there are four major categories on the design of work. First is the perceptual motor approach. Second is the biological approach. This approach focuses on the integration of human and machine system. Tinitignan dito kung kaya ba ng employee na gamitin ang mga machine to improve their productivity and efficiency on their works. Third, the mechanistic approach. Fourth, the motivational approach. This approach focuses on the maximization of employees' potential. Scientific management and the mechanistic approach. A theory of management that analyzes workflows. Main objective is to maximize the individual efficiency and productivity of an employee. The structure was broken down on simple repetitive tasks dahil naniniwala si Taylor na pag ginawa ito ay mas mapapadali ang trabaho. Pero dahil repetitive task siya, ay mas malaki ang chance na ang mga employee ay mas madaling magsawa sa kanilang trabaho. They made job enlargement in attempt to satisfy employees. Dito, pwedeng pumili ang employees ng iba't ibang klase ng jobs. Job enrichment. Design jobs that help their employees to grow. Dito, nagfo-focus sila na gawing mas productive ang isang employee. Nilalagay nila ito sa isang job na sa tingin nila ay mas mai-enhance ang kanilang skills. Job characteristic model, a kind of approach to job enrichment. Under job characteristic model, there is core job dimension and critical psychological state. Core job dimension. Number 1, skill variety. This job requires the skills and talents of an employee. Task identity. Completion of work. Dito, makikita mo talagang tinapos ng isang employee ang kanyang work. Dahil may makikita ka talagang actual results. Task significance. When an employee feels significant, mas pagbubutihin pa nilang magtrabaho. Number 4, autonomy. Giving an employee a freedom to work on a suitable job for them. Number 5, feedback. It is the result of someone's performance on a certain job. Next is critical psychological states for motivation and satisfaction. Number 1, experiencing meaningfulness. Think your job is important and you need to value it. Experience responsibility. You made the work and be responsible on it. Number 3, knowledge of result. Gaining an understanding on the work, and it is the same as the feedback. And if an employee feel motivated, the work outcome will have a good result. Next is work-family balance and job design. Organization giving more attention on employee who has to balance their work and family matter. Example of this is a single parent. Kailangan niyang hatiin ang kanyang oras sa kanyang trabaho at sa pag-aalaga ng kanyang anak. Job sharing. It consists of 2 or more employee na naghahati sa isang work para mas mapadali ito. Next is flex time. Employee decides on time with a certain limit. Ang employee ang nagde-decide kung anong oras ang kanilang mga pasok, basta makompleto ang work hours. Next is telecommuting. Allows employer to work in home, full or part-time. Example of this is Parents na need mag-work at the same time ay mag-alaga ng mga bata. Last is job design in teams. It is common in organization. It consists of 2 or more employees that is working together to solve a certain problem. Thank you, and we hope that you understand our topic. This is Group 1 representing